Hello everybody, this is Whole Views. My name is Corey, and I'm here to give you a full spoiler review of Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace. So, first things first, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you like the review, please leave a like. If you don't agree with the review, you can dislike it. Leave a comment. And if you really feel some type of way about it, you can shoot me an email at whattowatch337@gmail.com, and hopefully have a little graphic here I can show up there for you so you can get that email right. Anyway, let's get into this review. So it's like all weekend long I heard people say like, oh, this Fall from Grace movie is pretty good. This new Tyler Perry movie is pretty good. You should check it out. Oh, it's pretty good. Like at least 10 people I see posts on Facebook talking about, oh, if you ain't got nothing to do, check out that Tyler Perry movie. Okay, I'm ignoring it because I'm not really a big Tyler Perry fan. But I see more and more people keep talking about it, and they posting screenshots and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I whip out my phone. This is still over the weekend. I whip out my phone. I'm looking for Fandango. Like, is this in the movies? And it's like, no, it's Netflix. So I was like, okay, well, that make it even easier. I might check it out. See more and more people post, and I say, you know what? While it's still hot, let me go ahead and check it out and watch it. And this is probably be unpopular, but I don't know what people was watching to be saying that thing was good, because I'm not really a fan of it. If I had to give it a score, I would call it like a 4 out of 10. But let me get into why, starting with the positives. So if people say, oh, it was good, and they mean the story was good, I'm with that. I would say that the story is relatively intriguing. If you can commit to watching it, then it is a pretty good film. The story takes you from a place where like you don't know what's going on. It kind of gives you some backstory, and then you're left in a place where it really becomes intriguing, and you want to figure out, okay, well, how will this person get out of the situation that they're in, right? Outside of the story, taking a little twist and turn, toward the end, it is typical Tyler Perry, though. It's a woman being taken advantage of, and she in a bad situation, and she got to find a way out of it. So in that regard, it is typical Tyler Perry. But once I got past the issues that I didn't like about the movie, I did find myself in a place where I was like, yo, I really want to see what happens. Because there were a few things about midway through the film that I thought to myself, like, yo, if this turns out in a stupid way, I'll probably score this thing way lower on my scale. But it didn't go too far out of bounds, but it went far enough out of bounds for me that I was like, yo, I'm watching this whole thing and I can't call it great. I can't call it good. I wouldn't recommend it unless, you're real bored and you just want to see a movie with an all-black cast or something. I don't know. I don't know what's appealing about it. You really like Tyler Perry stuff and you want to see it. Maybe. But just judging Tyler Perry against other Tyler Perry, I would say this is not his best stuff. I look at Tyler Perry's best film as, to me, my favorite Tyler Perry movie was Daddy's Little Girls with Idris Elba, Gabrielle Union. You got two strong actors. In this movie, yeah, the actors that you have are not as strong. They're more TV level actors, which is fine. Not saying TV people can't do movies. But the performances were not nearly as that level as like Daddy's Little Girls. The best acting in this movie comes from Phylicia Rashad. I'm in my positives here, okay? So I feel like the movie was, I feel like it was almost a throwaway until Phylicia Rashad got on the screen. She carries, not really carries the movie, but every time she's on the screen, she really shines. She first shows up when she's walking the trash out. That's not the big deal. But when she gets into the house and you see Cicely Tyson kind of wandering around the background, it's like, oh, something is not right. And the very slight nuance that she brings to the screen, I would say is enough to get you in and say, I want to see what happened with Phylicia Rashad's character, because everybody know that's Claire Huxtable. If you in my age range, the 30s, the 40s, like, that's Claire Huxtable, and she's a good actress, and you want to see what she's going to do in a role outside of what you've probably seen her in. So big shouts to Phylicia Rashad, doing her thing in this movie. Also, I would give a huge amount of credit in this film to Mehcad Brooks. Now, I know of Mehcad Brooks from Supergirl. He was in the first few seasons. Recently, he left that show, but he was one of the best parts about that show when they gave him good stuff to do. I'm not a big fan of the Supergirl show. I feel like they talk too much. and it's way too many social agendas that they try to tackle at one time on that show. But Mehcad Brooks was, to me, one of my favorite parts while he was there, and he shines here. Now, I want to revisit Mehcad Brooks and his shining, and the job that he does with this movie, because if you just watch the first half, you'll think he's real cheesy, but it's by design. That's the only credit that I can give the movie, that is designed to twist well enough, and the people who do the twisting, Mehcad Brooks and Phylicia Rashad, they do a damn good job at the twist. So as far as the positives go, that's all I can really give it. That's all I can really say, is that the story, if you're locked in and you really want to see this, the story is fine. And if you're really locked in, it'll get you to a point. There'll come a point where you're like, yo, I really want to see how this turns out. Good writing on Tyler Perry's part in that regard, the story arc. Good acting from Phylicia Rashad. Good acting from Mehcad Brooks. Whew. Outside of that, man, I gotta go hard negative. Like, there's so much in this movie that I could just tear down. So I'm gonna do it, a structured way where people would probably look at me and say, "Oh, you nitpicking." I'll give you those, and then I'm gonna just cut loose on what's obviously bad. So first is the production. Look at the production of this movie. If you watch enough TV and movies, you can see that production levels change with budgets. So like a Law and Order or a Flash TV show or an Arrow TV show, their budget is set because they got so many episodes that they have to film on a certain amount of money. But a movie budget is much bigger, and that's why they look much better than stuff you see on TV. And even from episode runs, like Black Lightning is a show that has 16 episodes, the budget is higher because there's less episodes and they can spend more per episode. It looks a little bit better. The soundtrack is just a little bit better. Here in this movie, you can tell that it's not a normal Tyler Perry budget. Like, I don't know how much Netflix gave him to make this movie, but I'm sure he did everything he could to like save on production costs. Three things I want to point out with production. The courtroom is very small. It's kind of tight. People would say, oh, that's a nitpick. But man, we see better courtroom scenes in Law and Order SVU every week. So, like, nah, his courtroom looked shabby to me. Looked like they couldn't fit all the jurors on the screen. Looked like when they gave the opening and closing arguments, like they barely had room to walk. Like, it didn't seem spacious. Didn't seem like, appropriate level for a murder case. Big crime all over the radio, all over the TV. Like, nah. If it had that much attention, it would have a much better courtroom. 2, sound design. One scene in particular that I'm going to just touch on here, but I'm going to come back to it later. Sound design in the baseball bat scene where she's hitting him with the baseball bat. It's like, yo, sound like she's hitting a table. That's not what it sounded like to hit a person. The only swing that was believable was the first one where you see his head react. But everything else was like, it seemed like she just hitting a table. Don't sound right at all. Maybe that's a nitpick. I'll give you that. I'll say, yeah, the sound design thing, yeah, that's a nitpick. And the one that I will mention here and then also loop back around to is wig work. Like, yo, somebody got to rein Tyler Perry in with this. Like, he consistently puts up weird looking wigs on people. He himself in this movie has a beard and a curly head of hair. And it's like, yo, Tyler, we know what you look like. Putting this wig on and putting this stuff on your face is not going to change you as a character. It's not going to like convey anything on the screen. But I'm going to hold back here. I'm going to come back to that. Okay? Next area where I would say this is bad. I don't want to put anything on an actor. I want to put this on Tyler Perry because Tyler Perry wrote and directed this. So like, as a director, you see a scene that the actors give you. And when you look at that scene, you should be able to say, okay, that was a good take. This scene as a whole is perfect. Let's leave it how it is. Let's move on to shooting something else. The dinner scene where the 2 lawyers from her job went and met, the lawyer and the policeman couple, and they having dinner. At some point in that scene, I guess it was written that the male lawyer was supposed to get upset. There was no reason for him to be upset in that dialogue. The female lawyer, the main star of the film, like she is supposed to be equally upset at his reaction. And her reaction is, to me, over the top. Way worse than his. So when I watch that scene, I'm like, yo, first, there's no inciting incident for him to be upset. Second, She's upset at them and you kicking people out over that? Like, it's a bad scene. Another inexplicable tonal shift is when the first lawyer meeting happens and we're getting the backstory of Mehcad Brooks and Crystal Fox's character. Like, we're looking at them on screen for the first time and how they met. And she's gushing to the lawyer. You can hear it in the voiceover that she's gushing and she's talking so well. And she seems so happy talking about it and remembering this stuff, reminiscing. And then all of a sudden, she changes and she's like, I dug into you too. And I know that you don't take cases to court and you just make plea deals. And I'm like, yo, like, what happened that made you just stop telling this lovely story and get upset? I was thinking to myself, like, okay, well, maybe we're at the point where Mehcad Brooks is going to start playing her and, like, you know, tear her up, hurt her feelings. But we weren't there yet. Like, when the next time they met, she had more lovey-dovey stuff to tell. So what in that scene made her just change her tone to, I'm telling you all this good stuff, to, now I'm getting in you? Like, it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all to me. So when I look at that, and there's more, when I look at those things, I think to myself, like, yo, this is not a good film. And if people say this is a good film, I don't know what they're seeing. Now, let me just cut all the way loose on, like, yo, you got to give it to me. This is trash. Mehcad Brooks. I'm going to throw a picture up. Mehcad Brooks looks like this. All right? This is him. He's bald. Okay? Everything that people know him from, he's bald. How can you make a good looking brother like this act in a movie and try to be suave and try to be debonair and then later do a heel turn and try to be intimidating, and you got him looking like this? He looking like a damn clown, man. Like, and that's why I say he did a good job, because he had to be suave. He had to be like saying all the right things, doing all the right things with this lady, and I'm looking like a damn fool. And I'm like, come on, Tyler Perry, what are we doing? This is a Tyler Perry-ism, is what I would call it. It's something that he does all the time. Look at this. Exhibit B. He does this all the time. Look at Boris Kodjoe in this picture. Boris Kodjoe is bald. Why you put a whole fro on that man? Tyler Perry, you got a low haircut. Everybody know you. Putting that wig on is not going to change this movie. It's not going to make you a brand new character. What are you doing? Stop. Putting that look on Mehcad Brooks, for me as a viewer, I don't know, maybe it's, oh, you're a movie snob. Maybe people can look at me and say, oh, you're a movie snob. I'm not. But I know what this dude look like. And this ain't it, man. Like, this dude look horrible. He looked stupid. And now I got to look at this movie with this dude looking like a clown. You could have did better, Tyler Perry. And moving on with Mehcad Brooks. The baseball bat scene. You telling me an angry grown woman swung a bat 7 or 8 times, hit this man in the head 7 to 8 times, and he's alive? I was done. I'm like, yo, yes, I watch comic book TV shows where the Flash can run faster than the speed of light and Captain America can throw a shield that hit 4 or 5 things and comes back to him. But in those universes, in those cinematic universes, you telling me those things can happen? This movie's supposed to be in real life. Where in real life can a grown man get hit by a grown woman in the head, full strength, full of rage, full of anger, get hit in the head 6, 7 times, blood everywhere, thrown down a flight of stairs, and in what? They said the trial was like 3, 4 weeks between the incident and he walking? Come on, son. He should be dead. He should be dead as a doorknob. I seen that when they got to that point, they said no body. I was like, wait. They haven't shown a body. They haven't shown real crime scene photos. They just shown blood. So you telling me this whole movie been based on the premise that they don't have a body? So you mean to tell me that this dude could be alive? Listen, this is not Tyler Perry's best. Moving on to a little section I would call Tyler Perry should know better. I watched that dinner scene with the 2 lawyers in the beginning at the friend's house with the husband. First of all, the husband's a throwaway character. He didn't even need to be in the movie. He was an errand boy the whole movie. Then they gave him a scene at the end. It wasn't good. But Tyler Perry should see that dinner scene when he's editing this and say, we need to add some lines here because it's not strong enough. He should know better. He's done better. He should know better. The inconsistency of information, dialogue. So in the dinner scene, the male lawyer was upset because, oh, there's so much evidence that she didn't do it. Then you get to the night before the trial, and the same dude is saying, there's just not enough here. There's just nothing here to go on. You wasn't saying that at the beginning of the movie. What are we doing? And then to top it off, the next morning, she goes to trial, and she's saying the stuff that was said in the beginning of the movie about how she baked cookies for homeless kids, and she do this and she do that. What are we doing, Tyler Perry? Like, you should have caught these inconsistencies in your own film, I think, because you're better than that. Like, there are so many other Tyler Perry movies that are better than what we saw here. There's more I could say, but I feel like it would just be tearing a person down when you don't need to. I just want to point out that overall, people who said like, oh, this is good, you should check it out. Like, yo, Tyler Perry can give us way better than what he gave us here. And that's just coming from a person who's not necessarily a Tyler Perry fan. So anyway, Christian worldview time. It's not a film you want on in front of kids. You know, if you got little kids and, you know, you got impressionable young ones, you know, teenage or younger, I wouldn't have it on in front of them. There is a sex scene with no nudity. Praise the Lord, there's no nudity because nobody wanted to see that. I'm just saying, Mehcad Brooks does go full nude, but you only see his butt, and he turns around and he's covering his front. Why? Because nobody likes to be nude on film. Something I kind of covered in a previous video, and I'll link it at the end. And really, now that I think about it, it's kind of weird that he would cover up in front of a person that he was like engaged, sexually engaged with. Like, why would you turn around and cover up? Like, why? There's the baseball bat scene. That's some violence, but it's not. It's actually kind of silly when you watch it, in my opinion. But I wouldn't say that this is a Christian film or a film that most Christians would find themselves like watching and enjoying. If you do watch and enjoy it, I'm not blaming you. Film is subjective, you know. What you like, I might not like. What I like, I'm sure other people won't like. But this is one that I heard a lot of people say, oh, it was good, and I watched, and I was not impressed. I think Tyler Perry can do better. So, that's all I have for this one. Enjoy yourselves, guard your heart, and I'll see you on the next one.